YouTube or TikTok or Twitter, wherever you're listening. Maybe this is a clip that I post that you're listening to, but wherever you're listening, I thank you guys for joining us today on this Wednesday afternoon. It's a little bit warmer. It's been a little chilly. It's a little bit warmer outside today. Wherever you're listening, I thank you guys. Thank you guys for joining. Thank you guys for listening to me talk for a little bit. This video won't be as long. This video is just going to be a little breakdown of VCU in North Carolina, my most intriguing matchup of the first round of this NCAA tournament. The NCAA tournament is already underway. First two play-in games happened last night. Wonderful games, amazing games to watch. I was flipping through that in the World Baseball Classic last night, so that was a fun night last night, getting to watch Texas take down NC State, and UMBC try to stage comeback against Howard. Came up a little short there, but if that's a little taste of what's to come, then we're in for a fun tournament this year. So let's go ahead and get into it. Let's go ahead and get into this first game we got, which is VCU in North Carolina. This is a close game. Betting wise, this game is really close. This is a 6 versus 11 matchup, but this is a very, 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 very tight spread on this game. North Carolina opened as a 1.5 point favorite on DraftKings. They've jumped up to a 2.5 point favorite. So not much line movement there. You got a little bit of line movement, not a ton. North Carolina, as you see, I got it up on the screen here. North Carolina's minus 137 on the money line. VCU's plus 114 on the money line. So, again, not much separation between these teams according to DraftKings. 153.5 is the over-under for this game, so we're looking at a decently high-scoring game. North Carolina, again, like I said, minus 2.5 on the money line. We'll get into my picks for who I think is going to win later, but as of right now, let's just compare these teams straight up. I mean, obviously the big story here is North Carolina is without freshman forward Caleb Wilson. That's 20 points per game that they're going to be missing out on here. He leads North Carolina in basically every major category: points, rebounds, assists, steals, and blocks. He leads North Carolina's team in all those categories. They still got guard Seth Trimble, so they still got those. He's averaging about 14 points per game, so not a pushover team even without Caleb Wilson. But as we've seen, like their games against Duke, this team without Caleb Wilson, they can't hang with the big boys. Even with Caleb Wilson, they only beat Duke on a buzzer beater 3 on their home floor. So I just think I'm going to talk a lot about Caleb Wilson in this. I'm going to talk a lot about North Carolina being without Caleb Wilson. But let's talk about VCU's guards here for a second. VCU guard Terrence Hill Jr. leads them in points and assists. He's sitting right at 14 points per game, 14.4 points per game. So a lot of points there. 2.8 assists per game. They also got forward. I'm going to butcher this name. Lazar Dejovic, 13.5 points per game. So him and Terrence Hill Jr. right there are right neck and neck as far as points go. This is a very talented VCU team. If we want to get into the Ken Palm ratings, North Carolina, obviously, they're 24-8 on the year. They're 20.82 as far as adjusted efficiency goes, and our net rating. Offensive efficiency is 121. That's good for 32nd in the country. Their defensive efficiency is right at 100.6. That's good for 37th in the country. And then they got the 45th ranked strength of schedule. That's why they're an 8-loss team sitting here at a 6 seed, just because that ACC is a little bit weaker than some of these other conferences like the Big 12 or the SEC. I think even the Big 10 is stronger than the ACC this year, which is not typical, but ACC is a little down this year. And that is why North Carolina's sitting where they're at on the seed line with that record, because that record would tell you that they should be up closer to a 2 or a 3. But 8 losses coming in at the 6th line. VCU is looking at they're 27-7. It's an impressive record. It's an impressive amount of wins. Their net rating is right at a 17, so they're not far behind North Carolina. If you want to round up, North Carolina 21-17, it's a 4-point difference as far as net ratings go. So neck and neck on these teams. VCU's offensive efficiency is right at a 120. It's a 119.9, so let's just call that 120. It's good for 46th in the country. And then defensive efficiency, they're a little bit further down. They're 102.7, so that's good for 63rd in the country. Then they're sitting, of course, 102 strength of schedule, so not quite as strong of a schedule as North Carolina's played this year. Yeah, I think this is, as far as point spreads go, this is not a very hot upset pick that I've seen for a lot of people. I think some of the hotter upsets that I've seen is going to be McNeese over Vandy, or I've seen a lot of Akron over Texas Tech. Akron's probably the team I've seen the most. I've seen a lot of Akron talk this year. Probably, like I said, Akron's probably the most. I've seen a lot of people with Akron in their Sweet 16, Akron in their Elite 8. So Akron's a hot pick this year. Santa Clara is another hot pick to beat Kentucky. That's another low spread game. High Point over Wisconsin. Every year, High Point's in the tournament. They're going to be a big upset pick for Wisconsin. I don't know why it is. High Point's just one of those teams that a lot of people like to ride with. And then our last big upset that you hear people talking about, South Florida over Louisville. So South Florida over Louisville is probably that second game behind Akron and Texas Tech that people seem to be talking about a lot. Not a lot of people talking about this VCU over North Carolina pick. Obviously, there's a few. There's a lot of people. There's a good amount of people talking about it, but not as much as I was expecting. Because, like I said, this is my pick for the first round if I was to pick a most likely upset. Now, I don't even know, seeding-wise, obviously it's an upset. It's an ACC team going down. It's a historic basketball program losing in the first round of the tournament. But point spread-wise, this would not really be an upset. I mean, North Carolina would be larger favorites over a lot of teams in the ACC in their own conference. So I think this game is tricky. This game is it's what's the word I'm looking for? It's not what it seems when you look at it straight up. When you start digging a little deeper into statistics, you start seeing that VCU has a legitimate shot here. I mean, if you put, let's see, I mean, VCU's what, plus 114 on the money line. You put $1 on VCU, you don't even get $1 back. So if you bet $1 on VCU, you'd get like $1.80 in return, and that's including your wager. So sports books are not really cashing out on this just because of how good this VCU team is. I know as a Tennessee fan, we're also a 6 seed, so I was really dreading the possibility of maybe playing this VCU team. This was a team that was on the bubble, even if they didn't win their conference tournament. This was a team that was sitting right on the bubble to be a potential at-large bid team. So this Rams squad is scary looking. This Rams squad can easily do some damage, even after North Carolina. I mean, even if they beat North Carolina, they play Illinois, which I think Illinois is a really strong 3 seed here. I think out of the 3 seeds, I'd probably take Illinois over a few of them. I'd probably take them over Virginia and Gonzaga. I don't think I'd quite edge them out over Michigan State, but I definitely would take Illinois over Gonzaga and Virginia. This Illinois squad is good, but I think VCU, if they get a chance, that spread would probably be closer to 10 to 15. But I mean, we've seen 30-point underdogs win in this tournament before, so nothing's out of the question here. But yeah, I mean, y'all already know my pick. I'm kind of building up into who I'm going to pick, but y'all obviously, I've kind of spoiled it already in my other videos. I'm taking VCU to move on in this game. I'm going to take the under in this game as well, under 153.5. I'm going to take VCU just straight up on the money line. I'm not going to take VCU plus the 2.5. I'm going to take VCU to just outright win this thing. Just because I think this VCU squad is really strong. And I think this North Carolina team is reeling without Caleb Wilson. I don't think outside of Caleb Wilson they've gotten production, of course. They've not gotten a ton of production outside of Caleb Wilson. Like I said, he's the leader in all 5 major stat categories. When your forward is your leader in steals and he only has 1.5 steals per game, That's not great. Seth Trimble, their point guard, is right under him on that steals category with 1.1 steals per game. So that's not really gonna do it here. You need to generate turnovers. But your steals leader being at 1.5 steals per game it's just not enough. And then again, assists leader 2.7 assists per game. I mean, you need to be averaging more than 3 assists per game from your leading assist guy. Rebounds are good at 9.4. Of course, he rebounds the ball at a high clip. He's 6'11". He's long. He's lanky. He can get out there and grab the ball. And then their center, I'm not even going to try to say his name. I'm going to call him Henry. Henry at 8.7 rebounds per game. That's good enough for you. I mean, he's not far behind him. That if you want to round up and round down, that 8.7 rounds up to a 9 and 9.4 rounds down to a 9. So if you want to call it, they're both at 9 rebounds per game. So I think they're fine there. But yeah, when your leader in all 5 major stat categories is not going to be available, and it's a freshman phenom as Caleb Wilson is, I think he's going to be in the first round of the NBA draft. He's going to be one of the first guys off the board. He's going to do great things in the NBA. I actually have a bet with one of my buddies who is a North Carolina fan. We got $100 on Nate Ament or Caleb Wilson being a better prospect in the NBA. So that's going to be interesting to see how that plays out. That's just a funny little thing I wanted to add in there. Yeah, it kind of does it. Like I said, VCU's my pick to move on. I don't have VCU making it past the round of 32. I do have VCU dropping to Illinois, but I do have VCU upsetting North Carolina in this first round of the NCAA tournament. So with that being said, I want to thank you guys for joining us today. I told you all I'd try to get a little short video out here today for a little breakdown on this game. I'm not going to do any other first round matchup breakdowns just because there's really no other games that really pique my interest enough to put their own individual video out for. But like I said, we're going to have several other videos out this week. We'll have reaction videos, of course. We'll break down upsets that possibly happen because, there's going to be some. So whatever major upsets happen, we'll have full breakdowns of those games coming up on the channel later in the week. So stay tuned for that. We get underway tomorrow and Friday with our first round of actual bracket play. So that'll be interesting. Yeah, we'll just see what happens. We'll react accordingly and stay tuned, y'all. See ya.